That day in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina has changed the world like few others. Powered flight has shrunk the globe and even the universe just a little bit. But its hidden accomplishment is the way it's been used to expand the kingdom of God.
It made mission work possible where it was impossible before.
The airplane has opened up new mission fields by allowing contact with people groups that had been cut off from the outside world. It spares missionaries the hardships of weeks of overland travel over harsh terrain. And it gives them crucial support by delivering equipment and medicines and providing emergency transportation. That support has allowed mission workers to arrive on the field healthy and ready to tackle their long-term task.
We know that the work of the church and of missions would be slowed down by years, maybe even decades in some parts of the world, if it wasn't for the use of the airplane.
Cameron Townsend, founder of Wycliffe Bible Translators, was a pioneer of mission aviation. Uncle Cam, as he is known in Wycliffe, saw firsthand the essential need for this tool in 1946, when two of his workers, Titus and Florence Nickel, had to walk from their base in the foothills of the Andes Mountains to the nearest city. When they reached their destination 3 weeks later, they were a pitiful sight.
When Uncle Cam saw them, their clothes were tattered and torn and dirty, and their bodies were almost emaciated, and he said, "This shall never happen again. We've got to have airplanes for our people so that we don't waste their lives."
Townsend formed Jungle Aviation and Radio Services, today known simply as JARS, to transport and serve his far-flung Bible translators. Based in Waxhaw, North Carolina, it's one of the largest mission aviation services in the world. At about the same time Townsend's idea was taking wing, a group of Christian military airmen was having similar ideas. In the waning days of World War II, what is now known as Mission Aviation Fellowship was formed. Its early pilots were also aviation pioneers, people like Betty Green, MAF's first pilot. She became the first woman to fly over the Andes Mountains. And then there's Nate Saint. He's best known for his work and martyrdom among the Auca Indians in Ecuador. But Saint was also a master at adapting aviation technology to suit mission work.
He designed a way to carry corrugated roofing under the belly of the airplane. He designed a fuel system, an emergency fuel system, so that if the primary fuel system, something would happen to it, you could get fuel into the engine and keep the airplane in the air.
And he devised an ingenious method for contacting people on the ground where there were no airstrips.
He designed a system that he would fly in a tight circle, and as he would be flying in this circle, he would let out a rope with a bucket on the end of that rope. And as he would continue to let the rope out, that rope would go to the middle, and he could actually set the bucket on the ground. Sometimes he had a telephone in there that the missionary on the bottom could pick up the telephone and talk to Nate in the airplane as they were trying to build airstrips. Sometimes it was to deliver medicines.
Nate Saint's spirit of exploration and discovery lives on. Today's missionary pilots still skim the treetops, looking for unreached people groups who need to hear the gospel.
We're looking for any sign of life, whether it be a little village hut or some gardens. Sometimes the people live in little caves or under tree areas you can't see from the air, but you may see a sign of gardening in the area.
And like Saint, they're not only pilots, but preachers as well.
Going in and preaching in churches, taking the Jesus film, one of the tools that of modern technology allows us to go in and land and hang a sheet from the wing of an airplane and set up a little generator and project the Jesus film on this sheet, and people come running together and they're able to see as well as to hear the story of Jesus, sometimes for the very first time.
And it's that evangelistic spirit, more than anything else, that motivates the men and women of mission aviation.
Most of us are here because there's somewhere down inside of us, there's a propeller turning. But it's the resourcefulness of the people that have the desire to share the gospel. The airplane, it's a tool. But it's really the call of God on a person's life in order to share the story of Jesus. That's where it's at.
Stan Jeter, CBN News.